Welcome back. We continue our election coverage this morning with the political analyst joining us live in studio.
Yeah, joining us now for his reaction to the races all across the state is John Sellek. Thanks for joining us. You're going to be here all morning, so this isn't the last we're going to see of you. And
sorry.
Well, no,
it's good. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, a lot of knowledge and a lot of information.
Yeah.
First question I have: the race that we're all still watching here is the very tight race between Rogers and
Slotkin.
Slotkin.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's right.
Yeah, Slotkin. It has been flip-flopping. It's really tight, getting tighter, but it looks like Slotkin might have a lead as of this morning. You know, what do you attribute that to, and how can you really drive down the point of her messaging? How has that helped her so far?
Yeah, I think she did what a lot of Democrats who are winning in Michigan do right now. They're portraying themselves as moderate. And then when they get around to talking about their opponents, they're saying he's an extremist. And the he is easy to say because a lot of times Democrats are winning women candidates and the GOP is running men, dudes. So that's what we're seeing out of that messaging there. That race has been going back and forth. Wayne County, as always, with Detroit, is very slow in reporting their votes. They have a few votes left, and Slotkin's taken a couple thousand vote lead. So assuming these Wayne County votes turn out to be Democrat votes, which is sort of the way to look at it, Slotkin may have won this thing. So the whole country is watching right now on that front. And then we have 4 congressional seats in Michigan that were targets by national forces. Hundreds of millions of dollars spent all across the state. And if you live around here, you know that. Hillary Scholten won this seat for the Democrats for the first time in a couple generations. She did a really good job, I think, as an incumbent, portraying that she fit the district and that she was working hard for the district. And she essentially ran as a moderate Republican. She did that in her first race, and she did it even more this time to the extent that she literally ran Gerald Ford's voice over the top of her ad while her face was on the ad. I'm not sure how much more direct you could get unless she'd stuck Ronald Reagan in there or something like that. But it really worked for her. Her benefit is twofold here, though, beyond her messaging, was that Paul Hudson, good candidate, never had the funding to really make a difference in this race. And then, as we talked about in the first segment, Vice President Harris won Kent County again. Kent County seems to be moving firmly into the blue column. That's going to be a real boost for any candidate, including Scholten. There's 3 other congressional races. John James in Southeast Michigan, a rising Republican star who could be the candidate for governor next time around for the GOP. He won in a very close race. But a similar race to the one here is the one over in Flint. Dan Kildee left the seat. The Democrats want to hold on to it, but that area is moving toward Trump. They didn't think the Republicans, they didn't think the Democrats could win it, but the Democrats ran a great female candidate, Kristen Rivet. She ran the same kind of messaging. She was for tax cuts and sounded like a conservative Republican and ran an ad where she was just in the bar saying, if you want to talk to a politician you like, you go have a beer with them and find out if you like them. She was able to do that. Her Republican opponent, Paul Young, was not. And so she hung onto that seat for the Democrats, and that's going to make a difference as to who controls the speaker's gavel in Washington.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the balance of power. I mean, right now we're looking at maybe Trump having the conservative Senate majority.
Yeah.
What would that mean for his term?
It's going to mean a lot because he's promised to do a lot of changes. It starts with getting federal spending under control, and the question for a lot of Democrats is how far that goes.
Yeah.
It may provide them with some fertile ground depending if they overreach and go too far. We could see cuts to entitlements, or at least proposed. Those have usually been the third rail of politics. You don't say you're going to cut Social Security, but there's a lot of conservatives who want to look at that because they say the level of spending that we have now simply isn't sustainable. But with both the House and the Senate potentially under Republican control, all that pressure is going to build up, and we're going to see in that first sort of State of the State, they don't really call it, or State of the Union, they don't really call it that, but in that first speech, he's going to have a real opportunity to lay out his vision for full control in Washington if he gets it.
All right, a lot of races to dissect.
Absolutely.
We've got all the answers, so we'll be checking back in with you again next hour. Thank you so much for your time.
Yep.